First off, after what Matt said about it needs to be that the government shouldn't be involved in Major League Baseball, using steroids or any performance-enhancing drugs is illegal, period. Not if you're in Major League Sports, not if you're just a student in high school. It's illegal in any way, shape, or form. So just because you're in a professional level does not exclude you from the full extent of the law, and let alone excluding you from being banned from the sport entirely. Also, from what Matt said about his personal experience, you can't really draw a conclusion off his personal experience because, frankly, when I was in high school, I had a lot of people on my campus that did steroid use. The baseball team was riddled with people that did steroid use. Granted, they were good, but granted, they also cheated their way to that specific status. Now, what I've got to say about Brian for his stance on the children use. The senior pitcher, Mike Arrigo, is a senior pitcher out of college. As a college pitcher, you look up to these guys, meaning the MLB players. To see them cheat, it's just not right. We work hard every day the right way. Then you see these guys taking steroids and cheating. So as you can see, college itself has taken a frown upon using steroids in the major league level. Another point was the Phillies pitcher, Jamie Mayer. What a horrible example we set as athletes in general in professional sports for college athletes and high school athletes. So not only do professors in different universities are looking and frowning upon steroid use in colleges, but so are the athletes themselves. Also, Tom Davis, who is the chairman of the House Committee of the Government Reform, he states that college athletes believe they have to consider steroids if they're going to make it into the pros. High school athletes, in return, use steroids to get a scholarship. It's time to break that vicious cycle that the perception creates. So, and in addition to athletes, in addition to professors, also government committees are stating that that the steroid use in Major League Baseball is also causing the more trend for anabolic steroids and other performance-enhancing drugs. As for the policies needing to be stricter, Tom Davis, who the same person, the chairman of the government reform, he says that it doesn't surprise me to hear that almost 70% of players believe the new policy is strict enough. That's like asking trial lawyers if more tort reform is necessary. The answer is going to be no. Obviously, if you're in a position to where the current rules are to your advantage, you're going to completely agree to that. However, if you're at a point where you're at a disadvantage, you're going to disagree to it. You can't ask baseball players if what they're doing is, or if what the current rules are, is good or bad for them. And the final support on the way the Olympic rules are. Mike Wise, who is a sports columnist for the Washington Post, he stated that the International Olympic Committee and the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency, one positive test is a 2-year automatically for the Olympics. Until baseball catches up to this, what I say the gold standard of drug testing, I don't see this being an effective policy. Sports columnists are also agreeing with what we're saying, that the current policy is not strict enough, and also stating that the Olympic policy will help. Now, for my points, I'm going to be stating that because of the use of steroid use, baseball has had a tainted image. That peer pressure is causing even more baseball players to do steroids and other performance-enhancing drugs, and that with less steroid use, the perception of baseball will change, and it's going to show what the true stance on the Major League Baseball is on anabolic steroids. Now, Vincent Fay, who's a former commissioner of the MLB, stated that the long-term status of Major League Baseball could be jeopardized by the state of steroids revelations plaguing the game. You're having people from the past who have led the commissioner between 1983 and 1985 is stating that the current status of Major League Baseball is tainting what it's like. He also stated that, I think it's death by 1,000 cuts, and also stated that the risk is that a fan like me will start to perceive this like professional wrestling, like it's entertainment and not a sport, in which it crosses a sport, and when it crosses a sport with entertainment, it's on its way to a very bad result. And this is a former commissioner. Now, as for peer pressure being an effective way that that more and more MLB players are using steroids, I have multiple cases of people who were in the past in the MLB and current in MLB who are stating that that because they see their peers around them, they need to do it as well. They need to keep up with the par. Derek Jeter, who's a former Yankee player, said that one thing that is irritating and really upsets me a lot more is when you hear everybody say it was the steroid era. Everybody was doing it. You hear MLB Commissioner Bud Slade say other players, even little guys, wanted to hit home runs too because home run hitters got bigger contracts, so they took them. Commissioner Bud Slade also said that pitchers aren't dumb. They saw that hitters were doing it, so they did it too. And that's basically how the whole thing snowballed. And this is the current commissioner. Alex Rodriguez, who's currently in the buzz right now, stated that he was naive and wanted to prove to everyone that, I was worth, and being one of the greatest players of all time. So in order for current Major League players to achieve a higher status, they need to do illegal substances. And finally, what I have to say is that with the current stance, the perception of baseball will be cleaner if we go with what we say, and that one of the brewers, or the owner of the Brewers, who is Mark Anesthesia, said, "I don't know if it really is over, but hopefully this is our first step. Our new goal is zero tolerance. We have to look forward and take strong action. We will have to, in order to make it acceptable in its current way." In conclusion, after all the examples I've given, it's clear that not only do the players, do professors, do the old commissioners, to the owners, all agree that steroid use in Major League Baseball is far too common, and there needs to be more and more policies and enforcement in order to eliminate this problem.